And adding on to this whole stalker conversation, the most obsessive bitches you'll deal with are the ones from your past who no longer have access to you. And I'm going to actually give y'all a story time of an obsessive ex-best friend I used to have. So me and this girl, we used to be friends in high school, right? And when I was in high school, I was the insecure dark-skinned girl that was always humbled and bullied and ostracized and outcasted. You know what I mean? But towards the end of high school, I started tapping into my full potential. I started tapping into my social media platform, pursuing modeling opportunities, getting more confident in myself, right? And I did come to the realization that a lot of the people from my high school bullied me because of my greatness, right? But my ex-best friend, she did not see it that way. She saw it as me thinking I'm better than everyone, you know? So that's when we ended the friendship right then and there, because I started to peep like, girl, you definitely feel uncomfortable with the confident version of me. You know what I mean? Like, and this whole you think you're better than everyone, you're projecting. You think that. So let's just end it there. But when we ended the friendship, we did end it on good terms. You know, we ended it on that type timing where it's like, listen, there is no beef. I wish you the best. I just think we're not aligned. You know what I mean? Like, if I see you out on the street, like, I'll wave and say hi and smile. It's no animosity. It's just, I don't think we're aligned to be friends anymore, you know? And I kept that energy on my side. However, this girl did not. So basically, years go by. I end up doing my own thing. And I honestly forgot this girl ever existed. And I thought that it was the same on her side until one day. I went back to my hometown, right? And I was in the grocery store. And mind you, this day, I looked my absolute worst. I was going through my home remodel. I had just finished setting up the panels for my TV wall. Like, my clothes were all dirty and like paint everywhere. My hair was not done. Like, I didn't even have in leave-in conditioner or anything. It was just like completely dry and tangled. Like, I had no makeup, not even chapstick on my lips. My lips were cracking. You know what I mean? My absolute worst, you know? But even at my absolute worst, I was still recognizable. So I actually ran into a guy from my high school. You know what I mean? And he ended up addressing me. And he was like, hi, Shakira. Like, how are you? Da, 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 da. So, of course, because I'm not a weird bitch, I'm going to talk to you because you talk to me. So I'm like, oh, yeah, hi, how are you? How everything? And the thing about it is, right, he had his girlfriend with him. And his girlfriend happens to be good friends with my ex-best friend. So as me and him are talking, I look on the side and I see his girlfriend doing some shit on her phone. You feel me? Then next thing you know, 5 minutes later, guess who walks into the grocery store? My ex-best friend. Okay? And this bitch didn't just walk in on some cool shit. This bitch sprinted in there. And she literally ran through all the aisles. She did the little, you know, and then she left. Literally. She didn't even buy anything. She didn't even go look for any products. It was as if she wasn't going in the store to look for something to buy. She was looking for someone, you know, me. So after this, right, I'm like, there is no way this bitch literally got in her car and sprinted here just because she found out that I was at the grocery store. Like, is she really that fucking fanned out? You know what I mean? And then on top of it, you know, I had a feeling that the bitch was probably excited because I looked my worst. And one thing about it, like, the bitch, she definitely, when she pulled the whole, you think you're better than everyone? Yeah, you're in secret competition with me type shit. And the bitch couldn't wait to see me at my worst, because in reality, she knows that at my best or at my normal state, she is not touching me. She has to catch me at my worst to feel like she's above me, literally. So I'm like, this bitch couldn't wait to catch me at my worst. Minute she heard I was at the grocery store looking a mess, look at what she did. Get in her car and sprint in there like a fucking fanned out bitch, you know? And then that's when I came to the realization that this bitch had been harboring so much hate over me for the past few years because she no longer had access to me anymore. And I started to become successful and she couldn't stand that shit. Literally, the bitch had been talking about me for years in group chats. The bitch gave me new fans. Like, she went to a whole new college and was talking about me to strangers. Literally, strangers have a problem with me due to this girl talking about me so much. You know what I mean? So just to let you know, like, bitches do that shit. Like, that stalker shit where it's like, they won't even have any intentions of pulling up to that location until they find out that you're there. Literally, that's stalkerish, obsessive shit. That's fanned out shit, you know? But again, like, they mask it well. They make it look like they're shopping when in reality, they're trying to find your ass. They're trying to track your ass down, you know? So yeah. It gets that deep. It gets that weird.
All right, y'all, story time on the time when I was in high school and my entire cheer team got suspended. I was like randomly going down memory lane from all of my cheerleading videos from high school, and then it made me think of the time, you know, we got suspended. I don't really have anybody on social media who I cheered with, but there is one girl that I cheered with, and she's on here. She was a freshman when I was a senior. If she sees this, I don't know if she'll remember if this is how it happened, but this is how I remembered it. Okay, so just a little background. I went to high school in Oklahoma. Haha, yes, guys, there are black people in Oklahoma. And our cheer team was actually predominantly black. I think there was only 2 white girls on the cheer team, but I went to high school in Oklahoma, and I graduated in 2020, and this happened I think this was February of 2020. Okay, so for anyone who's local to Oklahoma, I don't know how many of my followers are from there, but I went to Northwest Class in high school. You know, it's like kind of right by Taft Middle School. And I would say our basketball team was actually pretty decent, at least when I was in high school. So we always made it pretty far. And the day that we got into our ledge fight, it was like during one of the games that was kind of like our final game.
And not only was this our final game, but the teams were neck and neck. So things were pretty intense and emotions were running pretty high. And,
you know, I guess people just
started to lose their marbles.
And to add on to this, it was an away game. So we were already in enemy territory when all of this happened. What's funny is that when I was in high school, no one would really think of this because when people think of Oklahoma, they think of white, but I cheered in Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma City's not that white. In fact, my high school was predominantly Hispanic and then black and then Asian, and there actually weren't really that many white people there at all. What's funny is that our coaches were also white too this year. Like, for my sophomore year when I joined, we had black coaches, and that's who introduced us to Stomp and Shake, but then they quit. But we decided we wanted to keep doing it because, guys, if you're a cheerleader, I'm sorry, but Stomp and Shake is so much fun. It might not always be like, I guess, technically accurate, but Stomp and Shake, I love Stomp and Shake cheer all the way. So those are the cheers we did. We just looked them up on YouTube and we just taught ourselves how to do them. Okay, so like if you do Stomp and Shake or you've done it before, you know we have these things called dish cheers, which you're not technically allowed to do because they're unsportsmanlike or something like that. But basically they cause fights because they lead to aggression, because, you know, some people take it too seriously. Like, people did dish cheers to us sometimes even though they weren't supposed to, and I really didn't care, but sometimes people would get really mad, so we weren't really allowed to do them. But on this night we started doing them anyway. Now, we weren't going to do them at first, but the only reason this started happening was, again, like I said, the games were neck and neck. We were like tied, so like the people in the stands of the opposing team started like bucking up at us, and then their cheer team started doing dish cheers at us. And at first we weren't going to do anything, but we kept doing them, so we were kind of like, fuck it, we're going to do them back. So you know what? We started doing them back. Again, hopefully I'm remembering this right, but I'm pretty sure I am. But before we started doing the dish cheers, like the people from the opposing stands, it quite literally felt like I was in Bring It On. Why were there people like backflipping off like the fucking bleachers? And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, and I was very like passive in high school. I'm still passive now, but I'm slightly more confident because like I'm 24 versus 18 is different. But I was really passive, but I was kind of in my head like, what the hell is their problem? And they were like booing at us, and I was like, we literally did not do anything. What is y'all's issue? So again, because the opposing fans were losing their marbles and the opposing cheer team started doing dish cheers at us, we were like, fuck it, we gotta defend ourselves. So we started doing them too.
This was 6 years ago, so I don't remember which dish cheer it was. We didn't know that many, but we knew a few. And again, I'm not a confrontational person, but because I am a good teammate. So if the cheer captain says we're doing dish cheers, I'm gonna do the dish cheers with my team.
I wasn't really taking it seriously though. I was just having fun. And I don't remember which one it was, but we
got them riled up. They were fucking fuming after we started doing it.
But mind y'all, they started it. So after we did our little 1-2s with our dish cheer, again, I'm not really taking it that seriously because I'm still having fun, even though like their like teammates were acting crazy. Y'all, I kid you not, I wish that she was on here. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was one of our cheer captains, and a guy from the opposing like bleachers tried to put his hands on her. Like, he tried to physically fight her. I kid you not. So honestly, at this point, we did do the dish cheer, which wasn't allowed, and the principal did see. But at this point, I honestly don't really think the principal cared, because all these don't sound bad, but the principal was white, and I don't know if she really understood dish cheers or stomp and shake like that, so maybe it snuck under her radar. But after the guy from the opposing team tried to put his hands on one of our cheer captains, she started cussing him out because, like, why are you trying to hit her? You're literally a boy trying to hit a girl, and, like, literally it's not that serious, it's basketball. Like, why are you trying to put your hands on a cheerleader? Like, what is your issue? So honestly, that cheer captain started yelling, then he started yelling, then a couple of other people from the stands from the opposing team started yelling, and then I think a couple more of, like, my teammates started yelling too. I didn't do anything because, again, I was too shy to, but I was fully on my teammate's side because I saw everything. Anyways, we, in fact, had to get escorted out after that because things just it just got too heated. But we really just wanted to, like, protect our cheer captain because she was 19 at the time, which meant that, like, she was, like, technically legal. And I think the guy on the opposing team, we didn't know if he was a minor or not, so we just really didn't want her to, like, go to jail or get in trouble. So we were just kind of like, come on, y'all, you know, let's go. Let's just get this over with. Like, we can just go back to the school. So we just got on the bus and we just left.
So we got back. At first I was in denial because this was my senior year, right? So I wanted to remember all of my games. Like, I wanted to cheer at every last one of them. So I was in denial. I was telling myself, like, oh, maybe we won't get suspended.
Maybe it wasn't that bad. Y'all, I knew deep down inside we were getting suspended. I was like, girl, there's no way you're not getting suspended.
So yeah, unfortunately, we did get suspended for a week and a half, which really hurt my feelings because it was my senior year and I was already super emotional over the fact that I was graduating. So I wanted to cheer at all of my games. And, like, the principals just were not hearing us out. They did not understand that, like, we did not start it and we were just defending ourselves. Like, they just, all they cared about was the fact that, like, our cheer captain started, like, cussing, but a guy tried to hit her, but, like, nobody cared about that. But the best part of the story is about what happened after I told my mom, like, how the fight went down. Anyways, I went home and I told my mom and I was, like, in tears because I hated the fact that we got suspended. So my mom obviously asked, she's like, what's wrong? And I told her, I was like, you know, we were at the game and, like, people from the other stands, they started bothering us. And then I told her about how, like, one of the guys from, like, the opposing, like, bleachers tried to, like, put his hands on one of my cheer captains and how that led to us getting suspended. And my mom was like, wait a minute. She's like, why are y'all getting suspended if you didn't start it? And I was like, I don't know. Anyways, my mom does not play when it comes about me, and she definitely didn't play about our other, like, cheer mates. Like, she had my back and she had everybody else's back. So the game happened on the Friday, right? So the following Monday, instead of having cheer practice after school, we had to have, like, this stupid meeting about, like, correcting our behavior or something like that, and all the principals were there, and it was not needed. And normally I'm very respectful, but honestly I was just really over it because I was already mad that I was a senior and I was missing out on games over something that was not my fault. But, like, again, the principal in question was just not listening to us at all.
And during this entire meeting, me and my teammates are just
Looking at each other trying not to laugh because, like,
literally, like, we didn't understand why the
principals were so upset at us when we quite literally did not start it. Like, no one was listening to anything we were saying.
But anyways, during this meeting, I don't know what happened, but one of our principals started crying. And for the sake of the story, I have to tell y'all, the principal in question was white. Not only that, but she was also trying to give input on the situation when she wasn't even the principal that was there that day. The principal that was there that day was Miss K. Her name is obviously not Miss K, but her name starts with a K. So the principal that started crying, it really did not make any sense because, for one, not only were you not there, but secondly, literally nothing happened to you. We did not understand why she was crying. Like, I was literally trying not to laugh when this lady started crying. I was like, literally, what is your issue?
Okay, so here's where it gets juicy. So while this lady is crying, my mom has, like, basically had enough, and my mom, she literally says,
why are you weaponizing your white woman tears when Nay is the one that almost got hit?
She's like, why are you
weaponizing your white woman tears when this cheerleader over here is the one that almost got hands put on her? She's like, literally, why are you crying? And when I tell y'all,
everyone's jaws dropped.
To the ground.
Literally nobody expected her to say that. And what was so funny is that, again, my cheer coaches were white too, so they probably did not expect my mom to come in there saying, why are you weaponizing white women tears? I'm not even sure if they ever heard of that phrase before until that day.
Again, jaws are on the ground. And as soon as my mom says that
the principal that was crying, she straightened up very quickly.
She's like, no. She's like, I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm not trying to do that at all. And my mom's like,
literally, why are you crying this? She's like,
you're not the one that
almost got assaulted. She's like, literally, why are you crying? Like, it was the funniest thing ever.
But needless to say, what was so funny is that I'm pretty sure after my mom said this, we weren't suspended anymore. That's the power my mom held. Just by saying, why are you weaponizing your white women tears? She got us unsuspended. And I'm trying to think, I might be making this up, but I feel like the opposing team might have been, if you go to Oklahoma, you know what high school this is. I think it was Douglas High School, but I could be lying because also my senior year, I feel like Douglas fused with class and SAS. Again, you would not know these high schools unless you lived in Oklahoma. But I don't know. The opposing team just did not like us for some reason, and they were just doing too much. Okay, basically that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I just thought it'd be a funny story. Yeah, got suspended my senior year because, again, got too intense. People on the opposing bleachers thought they were in a movie, so they started, like, threatening us and bucking up at us. The opposing cheer team did dish cheers, and we did one back even though we weren't supposed to, but we did not start it. Somebody tried to fight one of our cheer captains. We got suspended, and then my mom yelled at one of our principals for weaponizing her white woman tears. So, yeah. Yeah, anyways, that's it. Just thought that'd be funny. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
So a couple weeks ago, I decided I wanted to go get Japanese barbecue. That's probably my favorite food, like my favorite restaurant food, like Japanese barbecue. Yukaku, like if they only have one customer, just know it's me. right? So I texted my homegirl and my homeboy, their brother and sister, and I was like, I'm going to Japanese barbecue around 7 if any of y'all want to pull up. They both ended up pulling up. Whatever, it was a great time. And like, me and her, we go often, we does this, like we already know what's up, right? But her brother, like, he's also my friend. Like at one point in time we were real like close friends, like we were best friends, but like I would have said like at that moment in time we were good friends still. I don't think we were best friends, but we were good friends. Like that's my friend. He's not just her brother, that's my friend, you know? Mind you, he and I mean, me and them, the whole thing, like the whole siblings, all the siblings, we've been friends or we've known each other since before 2012. That's more than half of my life. I'm 26. 2012 was 14 years ago. So that's more than half my life that I've known them. And I only use 2012 as a reference because that's when my mom passed away. And I knew them at the time that my mom passed away. They met my mom. It's a small percent of the world who can say they've met my mom, you know? So that's why I use 2012 as a reference. But realistically, we probably met in 2010, if I'm being honest. So 16, is that 16? Yeah, 16 years of friendship, knowing each other, whatever the case may be. It all came to an end. It all came to an end. And I'm standing on business behind this one, right? So yeah, fast forward, we're eating or whatever, and he just looks miserable. But like, I'm not really taking it to heart. Now, again, this is my favorite restaurant. So like, seeing somebody not enjoying my favorite restaurant, it really does hurt. But like, I can't be arsed. Like, I'm having a jolly good old time. Like, I would have went by myself regardless if nobody would have went with me, right? So, you know, I keep teasing him throughout the night. I'm like, bro, fix your face. Like, you don't look happy to be here, yada, yada, yada. Whatever. Fast forward, end of the night comes, and he was also like my handyman, right? Like, I would always call him to like help me out if I needed something to build. I mean, he was a man. Do what men do, like build. Yes, correct. So, sometime throughout the night, they were like, okay, we're gonna go back to Nadia's house because I had these floating shelves I want him to put up for me. And so I was like, okay, so everybody was gonna come back to my house. We leave the restaurant, we're in the parking lot and stuff. And I don't even know, we were just like messing around, like, you know, nothing too crazy. And then like, he was like pretending to push me off like the sidewalk, you know, whatever. And I was like, oh, you push me off the sidewalk? Like, I'll show you, whatever the case may be. So then I put his sister in like a fake headlock. Again, we're just joking, like, we're literally just joking. And so then he comes to put me in a headlock for putting his sister in a headlock. And immediately I was like, okay, game's over, like, game's over. My wig is not glued down, like, game over. And so he was like, oh, okay, bet. Like, all right, your wig's not glued down. Like, all right, bet. He quits. He quits trying to put me in a headlock or whatever. Turns around, comes and snatches my wig off in the middle of the Japanese barbecue parking lot. I'm talking about, it's like 9 p.m. in Midtown in Houston. And he snatched my wig off. I'm talking about wig on the floor, on the bare cement. $800 worth of bundles and closure on the bare cement. After I just told you that don't put me in a headlock, my wig is not glued down. If the wig would have came off during the headlock, okay, you feel me? I put your sister in the headlock, we was joking, okay. But the fact that I told you my wig was not glued down, you said okay, and then doubled back and ripped the wig off, he's so lucky I didn't steal up on him in that moment. Like, he literally ripped it off and then took off running. And I was like, there's just no way. And I literally told him in his face, I said, I would never speak to you again. He said, that's fine, that's fine. Then I said, I picked my wig up off the floor, bald-headed. I'm talking about freedom braids, a wig cap sitting back here, like, not necessarily embarrassed, but like an embarrassing thing just happened. Like, my homeboy just ripped my wig off. You feel me? And is laughing in my face. I just told you I would never fuck with you again, and you're continuing to laugh in my face. I get in the car, turn the car on, finna pull off. He's knocking on my window like, oh, so am I going to your house? Am I going to your house? Like, am I putting up the shelves? Nigga, if you go even within 15 thoughts of my house, I will beat the fuck out of you. You've never seen this woman scorned, okay? Like, what do you mean, are you going to my house? No. I don't care if I have to put the shelf on my head. You will never step foot in my house again. Okay? Now, I already knew after that, like, I would never speak to him again, but I did expect him to apologize. Days go by, no apology, no nothing, radio silence. And then his sister ended up calling me. Mind you, I'm not beefing with the sister. I was beefing with the sister until I spoke to her. She almost got cut off right with her brother. But she was like, I had no idea what even happened. Like, all I know is I turned around, your wig was on the floor. I assumed it came off in a scuffle. Like, I didn't know he ripped it off. And I told her, I said, okay. I said, well, thanks for clarifying, because you show was finna get cut off too. Because, like, for me, my first instinct might have been to laugh. But as soon as I would have, like, registered what's going on, my homegirl's wig on the floor at the hands of my brother, like, I would have went off of my brother. But like she said, she only turned around and the wig was off, so she didn't see what happened. So yeah, so I told her, she was like, oh, I'm finna call him. And I was like, don't call him. Like, your brother's a grown-ass man. This is a 28, 29-year-old man. Your brother's a grown-ass man. Like, if he wanted to call me and apologize, he could have called and apologized. Anyways, get off the phone with her. I don't end up cutting her off. And he texts me, let me read you this piss poor, sorry ass excuse for an apology. And I already know, like, he only apologized because she said something, because as an adult grown man, you would apologize that same day. That same day. Let me read you this piss poor, pathetic excuse of an apology. And actually, this is the first time me even reading this full message. I read like the first line and was instantly just pissed the hell off. And then on top of that, your sister had to call you and tell you to apologize to me. Yeah, you're a grown ass man. You will never hear from me again in this life, ever again. He said, and I quote, "Hi, I would like to apologize for the way things ended when we last hung out at the Japanese barbecue place. I shouldn't have pulled your wig off, and when I did, should have called and apologized. But by the way you drove off, you were still upset and wanted to let things settle. Who wouldn't be upset? Who wouldn't be upset? I would like to probably make it up to you for my childish behavior. Please let me know if there's anything you can do to make, if there's anything I can do to make it up to you. If not, I completely understand. You can lick my balls. The day you can lick my balls, me, a woman at birth, the day you can lick my balls is the day that I can forgive you."
Story time on why you should never live with a bitch you call your best friend, because that bitch is not your friend. And this just happened, so give me a minute. I really don't even know how to start this shit for real. Like, it doesn't make any sense with me. I literally just moved back to Atlanta from Jacksonville, Florida. I was living with my sister, helping her with some shit she needed some help with. In the midst of staying with my sister, I had a little issue. It didn't end up working out. I had to go. So me and my sister still cool, but my best friend tells me, hey, you can come stay with me, and has been trying to get me to do so since, I don't know, about 2 years now. But I always declined, because I was always a firm believer that once you start living with a person you call your friend, they show you that they're not your friend. Now, originally, I came to Atlanta to visit July 2nd because I needed a break from my sisters, and I just wanted to come out here and see my best friend. So during this time, I was limited on cash flow because I had just spent the week prior sending her to work every day on an Uber. And instead of her paying me back, I told her, hey, when I booked this ticket to come up there, just throw me some money for that. Don't worry about giving me everything that you owe me, because I know you got other shit to pay. Never once did I ever use that I helped her in any way. I was always like, whatever. If I take care of you, just take care of me. That's literally the type of bitch that I've always been. So the first day that I get here, because this is about finances, I'm going to start talking about finances. The first day that I got here, I literally bought myself some food, and I bought us some cupcakes from my favorite place, which ended up being roughly about $43. Don't worry, I'm going to come with screenshots. July 2nd, right there, small cakes you can pause to read. So boom, the next day after we get up, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? I get up, I make us breakfast, and she's like, oh, okay, well, get to packing. My family about to come pick us up. We're going over there. I said, oh, okay. Now, if you know me, I've never been big on meeting people family. I have my own trauma with my own, and you don't want to get close to people, and then, you and this motherfucker fall out, and y'all not cool no more. So, boom, we get over to her family's house. Mind you, before I got to town, they were doing a lot of fighting within each other, so I was a little nervous about how it was going to go down when I got there. But when I got there, her family was very nice, surprisingly. Like, her mom was very kind, her sister was kind, her family was kind. Nobody was rude to me. It seemed like it was going to be a really good experience. So when we're there, this was the first time I was financially tapped while I was here. And I expressed that to her because I didn't want to throw her off guard at last minute. So while we're there, we ran out of the little trees. So we decided to go get some. And I told her I had $30. I could give her the $30 towards the $100 she was about to spend. And then I will go ahead and when I get the 20, I'm going to make sure I give her that too. We get that, and then afterwards we decide we're hungry, so we're gonna go eat. In which she covered the Popeyes meal for me, which was $14. She covered her food and she covered her family food, which ended up costing her a little grip. And you could tell in her attitude that, you know, it had changed a little bit because she was upset that she was losing so much money. So I make it my point from this point forward not to ask her for anything moving forward from this trip. So the next day, she goes and gets all these groceries for us to cook. Mind you, she told me when we were coming that we were coming to cook, apparently. I never offered to do that, nor did I even know that was what was on the table. And then I was like, oh, okay, she's like seriously gonna take us over there to cook. But it's cool, because fuck it, it's 4th of July. Let's eat. She ends up paying for all those groceries by herself and gets mad because nobody is paying her back for this stuff. I am at the register. She left me, and I'm like, I know you're not expecting me to pay for this because I told you I don't have no money. Please don't make me look stupid. So after we pay for everything and we get out of there, we go back to the house. We had bought the Popeyes and everything seems like it's going fine. We get to cooking the next day. Everything seems to be going well. Everybody is happy. Food is good. Something happened in the house. They got into it. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden now her sister is not taking us back home. We're not going to get there. She said something her mom said to her sister. I do not know. All I know is at this time, we needed to find a ride there. So I called the guy with the car and I told him, hey, I'm over here. Can you come and pick us up? I gave this man $50 for this ride. I never said anything to her about this. I had to borrow money so I can do this because I didn't want us to be stuck all the way about an hour and change away from where she lives. So at this point, when he finally comes to pick us up, we get back to the house. Everything seems to be going sweet. They're still arguing about whatever, but guess what? It's not my place, not my point. I always crack a little joke while they're on the phone, even if it's a little tense. I tell her, hey, don't talk to your mom like that. Don't joke with her like that. You know, always just cracking jokes. At this point, I begin to wash the dishes. When I'm washing the dishes, I'm not knowing there's a certain way you're supposed to wash them. I've always just ran hot water and used a sponge, and she got upset behind that because apparently I'm supposed to fill the drain with water and add bleach and soap and clean them that way. I'm not familiar to this. I grew up in a Dominican household. We didn't do that. So I'm like, okay, well, right now I'm just going to wash off these 2 plates because I had just bought these 2 plates because there wasn't no place in her house. So I bought the plates. I knew they were in the boxes and shit because she had everything. I guess she was waiting to set it up so she could post a video on TikTok because I was the one who was editing her videos for her. So instead of eating on plastic plates, I went ahead and was like, let's just go to Dollar Tree and I'll get us these plates and a little silverware. So when we got back to the house, that was just like cleaning up this stuff. So I don't even think that's there yet. I think I'm just cleaning up from the mess that I left from the pancakes. Yeah, that's correct. I'm cleaning up the mess I left from the pancakes. So at this point, she says, ew, is that how you wash dishes? And I'm like, yeah, you know that. And she's like, no, that's just dirty. That's nasty. That's disgusting. And I'm like, okay, well, I feel like it's a nicer way you could have said that, but, you know, it's cool. You know, you're going to have to show me how you wash dishes. So I wasn't still too hip to it because it's 1 plate that I'm washing and you want me to fill the drain and the sink and do all this stuff when all I have to do is scrub off this 1 plate with a little bit of food that I was eating off it. So I'm kind of confused on why this is a big thing, but whatever. So at this point, we have been staying in the same vicinity for about, I don't know, a few weeks. But this is the first time that I'm here, which is supposed to be the trip. So I didn't come bringing a lot of my belongings. So I'm walking around a little bit of the nude. So in which she makes me know she is uncomfortable. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the other place I was at before and grab some more of my stuff so I can have some more clothes because right now I don't have any clothes. Because her big thing was that I didn't do shit. So why didn't I just rewash the clothes I had on? Because I only had like a few garments, literally. So, you know, okay, you don't like to see that? That's fine. I'll go get my stuff and cover up, in which I did. Now, when I first moved in, we sat and we had a conversation about how this was going to go, making sure her living room didn't become a living space, all this stuff, how we're going to go about this, how we're going to treat each other, so what, so on, moving forward. At this time, I'm thinking, okay, me and this girl are cool. We've been cool since freaking high school. Like, I don't see any reason for this to go wrong. But it did. It went horribly wrong. Horribly. And I'm going to tell you the rest in part 2. This is just the first few weeks of me living there.
The moment that I realized I had to leave my ex was the day that we moved in with each other. I had standards. I wanted to be married first. I wanted to do everything the right way. And so we got married, and then we got an apartment together with us and our children. And the very first day that we moved in, I saw a completely different side of him. And I'm sure a lot of other people who have been in abusive relationships can attest to this, that, and I didn't know this at the time, that once they get you, like once you get married or you're pregnant or there's some sort of gotcha moment, they flip the script. And let me preface this by saying I had never seen any rage come from this individual. We dated for a whole year. Yes, I know it's not that long, but I'm not that young, okay? And I had already been married once, and I thought this was it. I thought this was the one. And the day that we moved in, I saw rage come from this man that I had never seen before over something so small. We lived in an apartment complex. This particular apartment was a 4-bedroom apartment, which is pretty rare. And it was a small complex, and there was a parking spot that had not been used in a while because no one had lived in that apartment for quite a while. So people would park there. And when we moved in, the very first day, someone was parked in our parking spot. And the rage that came from this man over a parking spot was terrifying. I remember seeing him just rage out over this, and I was terrified because I had been exposed to violence and rage growing up and in previous relationships, and I had never seen that before. And if I had seen that prior, I would have never married this man, and let alone move into a house with him with my children. And so that was the very first day that I started planning my escape. And it was 6 months later that I would finally get out of that apartment and away from him. So I just wanted to bring awareness to that, because people who are manipulative and abusive are really good at wearing a mask and a facade and mirroring you and what they think that you want to see until they get you, and then they switch it up and there's nothing you can do. I was married to this man. I was living in an apartment with him. It was the first day that we had moved in, and that was the day that I started planning my escape. And that was the start of anger and rage that I had never seen prior to this day.
Storytime, I had my family show their black asses at my baby's first birthday. Let's get into it. And I just want to say this as well. I don't care about how anybody feel about me making a video and putting my life experience and telling my stories and shit out on social media, on my platforms. I don't care. This is my page. This is my platform. This is my life. And if I went through it, I'm going to speak on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out the way. And another thing is, as well, I want to make this clear. We were never supposed to be planning my baby a party. We were supposed to be taking her on a trip, but our trip got pushed back because we didn't have all our money in order for us to take our baby on a trip. So we pushed it back and decided to do something small at the house, just something small. My sister wanted to take over because I was a little stressed out because we were still trying to catch up on a little bit of bills. I didn't get paid till after my baby's birthday. You get what I'm saying? So we had to DoorDash and Spark. My sister DoorDashed her ass off to make sure this party was possible and make sure my baby had gifts. And we also DoorDashed to be able to get some things, and we sparked and everything. Like, you get what I'm saying? So people work their ass off for this shit. This is people hard working, time and money, mind you. But anyways, we're just gonna get straight into the end of the story because the birthday party went good, y'all. My baby enjoyed herself. She enjoyed the other kids. She enjoyed the splash pad. I'll still post the videos. I just got to blur out the other kids out of respect of my family, like of my family members. You get what I'm saying? They don't want their kids on social media. But I'm gonna post that video because the party went good. Everything with his plan, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was enjoying themselves. The kids was on the splash pad outside. Some people was in here listening to music, dancing and shit. Everybody was having a good time. It really was for the kids anyways, because it's a kid's birthday party, a 1-year-old's birthday party. You know what I'm saying? It came out good. Like, the decor, I think I can't speak. The decor turned out good and everything. Like, it was good. You know, the kids came back in. We got them dressed. We sung happy birthday. Everybody got in line to get them a plate. And once everybody sat back down, we opened up the gifts. And let me go ahead and say this: my baby only took one nap the whole day. Usually my baby takes before the party, she would take probably like 2 to 3 naps, because her party started at 5. So yeah, she probably takes 2 to 3 naps before 5 o'clock. She only took one nap because she knew it was her birthday. She was the birthday girl. She wanted to stay up and be turned on her birthday. I don't blame her. So she only took one nap before her party started. It was like 2 hours, and 2 hours, maybe 3 hours that she was asleep. Cool. All right, keep that in mind. She's also cutting 4 teeth, molars at that, tops and bottoms at the same time. So anyways, fast forward to the end. My husband is sitting beside me, and my baby is sitting in his lap. You get what I'm saying? Because we opening the gifts. I'm showing the gifts, he holding her, and showing the gifts. When I say it, I forgot to mention this might be a long story time, and it may be a part 2 because I don't want to be overly too long. But anyways, while we was sitting down, my grandma, like, once we finished opening up the last little gift and whatnot, my grandma wanted to get ready to leave. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to get on the road. Cool. She's reaching for KK. Like, we're sitting down, she's standing, like, kind of crouched down trying to reach for KK, but KK is pulling back from her. KK over there sleep, trying to go to sleep. Like, you can see her trying to go to sleep on her daddy's chest and stuff. She's tired. I know she's overstimulated with too many sounds going on. Plus, my baby is a routine baby. I've had my baby on a routine since I left the hospital with her. She's a routine baby. She know when it's time for bedtime. She know when it's time for her to eat. You know what I'm saying? She knows. I'm okay. So she know around that time, around like 7:30ish, 8 o'clock, she know that's when we start bedtime. And you know what I'm saying? She was a little antsy. Plus, she needed more medicine, and we was trying to wait till everybody leaves so we could just do the bath time and give her medicine. You know what I'm saying? So she was crying and whining. So she constantly trying to take KK out my husband's arms, but KK keep pulling back. And so she tried to pull KK up because she was like, oh, she's gonna cry anyway. But KK started crying, and that's what pissed my husband off. So he was like, no, she good, and he, got up with KK and walked away. I know my grandma felt some type of way about that, but you got to understand, we're not going to force our child on you. If she don't want to come to you, she don't want to come to you at that time. You get what I'm saying? And that's just bottom line of that. We're not going to force our child to go to you. We see that she's already in distress and crying. Why would we want her to cry even more? Right? So he got up, he walked to the kitchen, came back and gave me KK, and he went upstairs. I already knew he was irritated. My grandma was like, walk me outside to my car, whatever. I said, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll walk you to the car, you know what I'm saying, with KK. I get outside, next thing you know, my mama and my auntie storming outside. I don't got time for this disrespectful shit. I don't got time. He's snatching the baby out my mama's arms. He's snatching the baby out my mama's arms. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I literally just stepped outside. What the hell just happened? My husband went upstairs and shit, like, what the hell happened? So I'm over here confusion. You get what I'm saying? I'm confused. So I'm asking my grandma all types of questions, like, do you feel like he snatched the baby out your arms? Like, if I'm being real, I'm sitting right there watching it, y'all. I'm right there watching it. When I tell you, she didn't have KK in her arms. It's like when she was like trying to reach to pick her up, like she put her arms up under her armpits, like to reach her to pick her up, and that's when KK started crying, and that's when my husband was like, no, she good, and got up and walked away. So she was never in her arms to begin with. She was still in possession. My husband had her in his possession, okay? She was never given to her. Keep that in mind. So she was like, my grandma was like, yeah, I don't want to get put in the middle of it. I don't want no problem. So she got in her car. She's waiting for the people that rode with her to get in the car. So I'm turning around looking at everybody. What the hell going on? Everybody, my people are out here screaming. I don't see my husband anywhere. But then my husband come outside. He starts trolling because they're mad because we have boundaries with our child. We're not about to force our child to go with you. We see that she don't want to go with you. So he starts trolling like, how you getting mad that she's my child? Like, she's my child. Like, you're not about to tell me what to do with my child. That's basically what my husband is saying. He's not saying no disrespectful shit, no nothing. So he got pissed off again. His mama and his sister told him to go back inside. He went back inside and went upstairs to chill out. All right. In the mix of him going inside, one of my siblings, my auntie, or one of them said that it was going to beat his ass, or they wanted to fight him, in something in that sense. And that pissed him off even more, because now you're threatening him in his own house. So my little brothers run outside, like they ain't running, they just walking outside to get to the car. Oh, he disrespectful. He said he about to air it out. And I said, what did y'all do to him? Because my husband is very antisocial. He don't say a lot of words. You know what I'm saying? He's not very a sociable person. And they know they've been doing this for years. They just think my husband is just a cold-hearted, mean person just because he barely say any words to them. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, what did y'all do? You know what I'm saying? And they ain't say nothing. Nobody was saying anything. I'm just sitting there confused. Other people was confused as hell too, because like I said, we was having a chill time. And also my husband wouldn't threaten anybody unless they threatened him first. He's a military vet. He's not fake crazy. He's not that fake crazy that y'all be trying to portray. Okay? My husband has real life PTSD and shit triggers him. Okay? He's not fake crazy, and that's all I gotta say. So hell yeah, he's gonna get in defense mode and defend himself. Not only himself, but his wife, his child, his household, and his family members, and his nephews that was outside. Of course he's gonna get defensive. So he come back outside, who wanna do it, who wanna fight? You get what I'm saying? And so his mom trying to calm him down. I'm in the middle of this shit. We in the street, in the middle of my house. My side of the people is yelling, screaming to the top of their lungs. And I'm like, bro, just leave. Just go. Just get in your car and go. Like, y'all making this shit bigger than what it is. We live in a white people neighborhood. Like, my neighbors is looking through the looking through the window and shit. Y'all embarrassing as hell. Y'all out here acting ghetto. Just leave. Y'all gonna have these people call the police on us. We don't need that shit. We don't need that shit. And then I started to think, people with nothing to lose, people with nothing at all, would help you lose it all. I don't know why I did this. I don't know why I did this. But people that have nothing, will help you lose it all. So it just all makes sense. Y'all wanted us to get a noise complaint and have to deal with the police and shit because y'all know we still have to stay here at the end of the day. Y'all don't. Y'all get to get in your car and leave. But we would have to deal with the noise complaint and the police and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, and also, for the sake of them and their lives, I was telling them to leave. If you love your life, leave. Because I swear, if my husband gets to another level, I already can't control him. Hell, his mama and his sister barely can control him. You know what I'm saying? My sister-in-law, it was somebody else out there that had to control, like, help him calm down. So, you know, he didn't get to that point to where he, you know, but they was popping it. He a bum, he a leech, you paying all the bills, and you know you, and I'm like, girl, who the hell said I'm paying all the bills? I said, here y'all go with that assuming shit again. Y'all mad because I don't tell y'all shit about what's going on in our household, so y'all are left with nothing but guessing and assuming. Who the hell told you I'm paying all the bills? Who the hell said he was leeching? Who the hell said he was a bum? My husband literally pays majority of these bills in here, and whatever's left over, I handle. Okay? And that's bottom line of that. Stop trying to run with some false ass narrative to make it seem like he a bum and he just leeching off of me. A bum, leeching. But if I start bringing up how people in their 40s still living in their mama house and shit, then I'm wrong, right? And then you got my little siblings against me trying to fight, wanting to fight my husband and shit. Y'all need to fight. Y'all. First of all, they little kids. Y'all don't even need to be trying to fight somebody. Y'all need to be fighting them school books because y'all ass was just in summer school, barely about to make it into high school. So they need to be worried about their schoolwork. And I see, I hate to take it there. Because I don't care if it's a kid or not. When it has something to do with my husband, my child, and my family, I'm going to take it there. I don't care. So, next thing you know, my mama caught herself trying to run up. I seen her, like, trying to run up, like she's running. Mind you, my little brothers over there holding her ass back, like, you're really not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they holding her back. And they trying to get her in the car. We going back and forth and shit. My husband see that I'm pissed off. Now he's pissed off even more because now you done pissed me off. Okay? And I'm over here trying to be the mediator, trying to defuse this shit. And now y'all coming for me and my husband. You coming for us too. You might as well come for the damn baby next. You get what I'm saying? And yes, I was up to defend him because that's my husband. And he wasn't wrong. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And I'm not being biased because that's my husband. I'm being real. He didn't do nothing wrong. All of them got mad.
I feel like a lot of people don't talk about how dangerous forced proximity is. And if you're unaware of the term, forced proximity, it's basically when you're forced to be in close proximity with certain individuals due to a specific environment like school or work. And you see, the thing about this issue, a lot of stalkerish, obsessive people, they will take advantage of the forced proximity they have to you because they know without that environment, they wouldn't even be breathing the same air as you. And it causes them to be very fanned out. I'm telling you. And a lot of people do underestimate how strategic these stalkerish, obsessive people are. They will literally study your routine to make sure they can get in your space and run into you or bump into you type shit. I'm telling you, like, they will make sure they study your license plate or what car you drive. They'll make sure they study where you park your car so they can park next to yours. They'll wait in their car for you to get out of your car so they can walk out the same time and walk beside you or run into you. They'll study what bathroom you go to just so they can, like, walk past you, or like they'll study when your breaks are so they can take it at the same time type shit and run into you. Like, I'm telling you. And it's so dangerous because the thing about it is these people, they're very good at masking. They mask their stalkerish ways as if they're just coasting through life, when in reality, they're purposely doing things to get in your space. And I wanted to address this issue because I feel like a lot of the time when people think of the word stalker, they think of a total stranger hiding in a tree watching them from binoculars. When in reality, most stalkerish situations, it comes from somebody that you know. Whether it's a neighbor or somebody from your school or somebody from your job. And like I said, like, these situations, they can be very dangerous because the general public, they won't be able to notice what's going on because they're good at masking, you know? But the person being stalked, they can catch on to the patterns and repetition. But when they actually try to speak up about it, they often get gaslit. Because, again, these people are good at masking, so people are going to say, oh, you're reaching. Oh, you're thinking too deep into it. And next thing you know, shit goes too far and somebody gets hurt. Literally, like, people have lost their lives due to this shit. Like, it's not a game. That's why I really want to talk about it, because I feel like it's not addressed enough, and it needs to be talked about.